Um, AEW Revolution 2023.
Boy.
This was a great show. I would probably have this as my front runner for best show of the year so far, in front of the Triangle Derby from Saturday, in front of Wrestle Kingdom. I thought that um, for a match like an hour long main event that they were going to push, that you saw, like, that you got interested at like an hour and 25 minutes before, so you knew they were going to go into overtime. I thought that, like, they had a lot, a very uphill battle and a huge challenge. And through the first 20 minutes, I was very doubtful, and then they flipped it around, and it was sensational. The last 20 minutes of regulation plus overtime, I thought that was a great match, a classic match. I thought that Hangman and Page, Hangman and Moxley, they had a different match, also a bloodbath, but a different match, and in its own genre is a great match. And I really enjoyed that. Like, you also have like this freaking goofy ass uh, buried alive casket match deal that was also great in its own right, and was unintentionally funny while also like being quality wrestling and told a great story. And I thought that, like, uh this is another example of AEW having where you can look at it and be like, I'm not sure. Like, I see there's too many matches. I wish there was a third I could really bank on, but the story might be missing, or there's a bad injury here, or some bad luck here with things that are out of the booker's control. And they were still able to pull it off because you look at the people that aren't on the show, and you're like, if they aren't on the show, these people have the ball, otherwise they'll never be on the show again. So, yeah, I thought it was another great show. Rich, what are your thoughts?
Probably say, like, overall, there's a lot of different narratives I think you can run with as far as if you were to say what was your takeaway from the show, you can say it was a night of like the future. Like, it was a night of the homegrowns. It was a night of like the younger guys, the next generation, like stepping forward. MJF going over Danielson. Jungle Boy over Christian, Ricky Starks going over Jericho, Hangman over Moxley, and like there's just like a pattern that really got like established. I think the Guns being like a homegrown act that like and getting a win there. And besides that, you could just run it from the perspective of like, yo, this was just one of the greatest wrestling shows that you'll ever see. I echo your statements on your thoughts on the main event. Like, I thought they started like pretty slow, but then they're just going insane the last minute of the match, and they really got me with one of the near falls in overtime. Got me and Jeremy, and we're not easy guys to get. Like, as far as like if we think something's happening, we're pretty much sticking with it. And then
Was it after he ripped out the ring?
nah, it was the
I,
Busaiku knee. Like,
okay.
and it was like, oh, and then he did the big oversell flip of it. But this for me was like the death match. Like, I was blown away by this. Like, the presentation, the knowing where these guys are in their careers, knowing that how long they've been trying to do this feud, and then just the entrances, and the brutality. And it was just like, yeah, John Moxley bleeds every week. So fucking what? That shit was not any less effective here at all. Like, because of all that shit, like, he can bleed as much as he wants. Trios match, incredible. Like, um,
Yep.
like there's just like this was a different format because of an Iron Man match. So, and even the women like match, like I thought it was like solid, like, and they did a little angle after and kind of pushed something forward there. This was just up and down. I think the show flew by, personally, and it was like, yo, these guys don't lose on pay-per-view typically. Like, I went through their history earlier. I was actually having a comment with Sir Sam, and it was like there's like 2 shows, maybe 3, where it's like, yeah, get it out of here. Everything other than that is like very high quality, ranging from like very, very high quality show to your contender to some of the greatest wrestling shows of all time. So, and you know what? I think there are people that would like to call this the greatest show of all time. I can't do that, but what I can do is say how I look at it, just because like I don't, there's just so much shit. Can you get in the room? That's what I feel like, and I feel like AEW Revolution 2023 can get in the room, essentially.
So, do you think it's the best AEW pay per view of all time?
I don't know. Like I don't feel like I felt in the moment, but when you like lay it down on paper and it's like, yo, there are I saw people giving 3 different matches on this show 5 stars. Whether how many of them, you think they were 5 stars or whatever, up to you. I've seen
Uh,
two, them giving 2 of them. I've seen one. I've seen a bunch of 4.75s, and the thing was, nothing was bad. I don't think there was anything under like a 3 star effort, maybe 3.25. But from there, it was just like the top stuff nailed it so much, and then Starks and Jericho was great, and then the casket match like supporting it underneath, and it was like you look at like the top 5 or 6, and it's just like great, and then it's like yeah, like it just was dope. I don't know. I got to sit with it.
okay, yeah, I'm kind of in that range too. Because you told me that Lanza and Craig both, or one of the two, or both of them, said that like they think it's the greatest pay per view ever, and I'm just like, I don't even think it's the best pay per view that they've done. But you know, that's their opinion. But I was like, at first, just off first blush, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, there's been some AEW pay per views where it's like they've had like 6 4-star matches, or basically knocking on the door of 4-star matches, depending on how you feel about them, whatever else. And I understand like the two matches are or doozy or whatever else. But like, and there is something to say about the main event thing with the AEW. But like, just bell ring to bell ring over and over and over. I feel like there's a few pay per views that they've had that are better than that, let alone like the rest of the world. And you know, it's really hard for me to think there's something better than some of these Wrestle Kingdoms. But
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm partial to Dominion 2018 myself, but that's that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
I guess we should run through it. Let's go from
yeah.
the
First
bottom to